Damn sun. Ugh. It's bright this time of year. Won't be long before we fighting it all the time. What's up, y'all? It's a wild ass Wednesday. That's what we're gonna call this one. Wild ass Wednesday. I was sitting at a stoplight, so I couldn't put like a regular. Oh, there, Mr. Utters. How we doing today? Doing all right. I ain't seen Ashley yet. I guess she'll be in here in a minute. Wild ass week for me. It sounds like it, man. I've been watching a little bit of your videos you've been posting. You coming right along on those shorts and stuff, aren't you? It's a good thing, man. You do a lot of shorts, and people are going to pay attention. I guarantee you that. I got like 800 subscribers now, and all I really did for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. Hey, baby, what's up? Workers' comp trying to film me in public. Oh, yeah? I hear you. Well, that sucks. Are they trying to keep from paying you? That's what it is. They got the lawyers out there checking on you to see if you're doing anything like strenuous. You know what I mean? I don't know how that goes. We had a guy get fired from my company a couple years ago. He hurt his back, right? And he was at home and was doing tinkering with his lawnmower or something. And one of the private investigators came by his house and saw him out there tinkering with his lawnmower. And the company fired him for it because they said he was trying to commit fraud or whatever. Figure the shorts will do most of the work. Let someone try hacking into your account and your email. Oh no, that's not good. I got a tech recline people on YouTube. Well, good. It's nice to have people that can kind of walk you through things, you know what I mean? I kind of did all this on my own, even though like most of the videos that I've been posting, like, over the past few weeks, I've gotten from other places. But the thing is that YouTube encourages people to share others' videos, right? Well, my videos don't have anything to do with YouTube. They're videos that I've gotten from other places. Now, granted, there are some of them that are mine. They're mixed in, but not all of them are mine. And I don't mind sharing them. And usually if there's music to them, I change the music on it, in case there's any kind of like copyright issues or anything like that. But even sometimes when I change the music, YouTube says, hey, you got a copyright infringement. And I'm like, well, okay, so if my video has music to it and it's less than a minute, now if it's a minute or over, then I'm in trouble. I understand that. But if it's less than a minute, that falls under the Free Use Act or something like that. So I am allowed to use music up to a minute without whoever it is trying to bitch and complain about it. So a lot of times what happens is when I get an infringement, I'll dispute it, and I'll tell them, okay, this is what it falls under. This is the category it falls under. I didn't intentionally, go seeking any gratification or anything or notoriety from this song. It's just something that went along with, the video. So that's why I'm doing it. 90% of the time, the music that I use comes off of the YouTube list. When you want to add music, they give you a list according to whatever song it is you want to do. They give you a list of a lot of songs, right? And if your songs come from their list, they shouldn't be trying to get you for a copyright infringement. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I stand on all this. Let's see here. Remix of a lot of my videos besides the costume ones. All right, I missed something here. Yeah, they got me walking your dogs and picking up your duck and how much does your duck weigh? Like 16 ounces? I mean, I doubt very seriously they're going to be able to do anything to you for trying to pick up your duck. Unless they're just really assholes. You know what I mean? That shouldn't affect it at all. I mean, I could see if you were picking up a bicycle or pushing a lawnmower around or something like that, but picking up a duck, I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway. I don't answer any of my emails ever. Usually what happens is if I get an email from YouTube, I don't even open that email. I go, because I look at like the sender to see who the sender is. If it doesn't say YouTube, and it's not like a copyrighted thing or postmark registered or whatever, I usually don't even open emails from YouTube. I just go directly to my settings on my channel. Because usually they'll make you wait the full 30 days. But hell, by that time, the short video is so freaking buried. I mean, I guess I could refresh the video, but why do that? You know what I mean? It's going to make it look like I'm running the same videos over and over again just to get views, right? So I don't rerun them. I just let them stay, and I guess people can go back and and see if it might come up in like a related video or something like that. About pound cooker was saying that said I can't since the beginning of this fix me something. So what exactly is wrong? You got a back issue? Is that the problem? You can't live more than 10 to 15 pounds. My spine. Oh, your spine is out of alignment. Have you been to a chiropractor at all? That's what I would do. I'd go to a chiropractor and have him line my ass back up. I'm a real true believer in chiropractic work. Simply because when somebody's trying to get you under a knife, they're doing two things. Number one, they're trying to get you for the expense of the operation or surgery or whatever it is they do, the procedure, right? Then after that, they get you addicted to opioids, right? So that they prescribe you these opioids because they make a percentage of whatever it is they sell off of those opioids. They're not going to tell you that, but that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you got physical therapy and all that shit. They're just trying to make a constant fucking patient out of you, basically. I wouldn't go under the knife for anything, dude. Not unless I had a fucking, like a piece of wood or something stuck in my arm, that I couldn't dig out myself. That would be the only reason that I would have surgery for anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't... Dude, after I had to lay my motorcycle down, I thought for sure I was going to have my shoulder worked on because I couldn't lift my arm over my head, you know what I mean? And I couldn't lift, like when I would put on a long sleeve shirt, dude, it would kill me to fucking try to move my arm in a position where I could, feed it on through the fucking arm of the long sleeve, right? But shit, I just gave it, 6 months, shit healed on its own. Now my shoulder is just fine. You know what I mean? But even I got hit a couple years ago. Well, actually, it's been about 3 or 4 years ago. I got hit from behind, and I didn't go to the hospital. I went to see a fucking chiropractor, man. And, I had, my right shoulder was fucked up then from where, or you automatically grip your wheel. You know what I mean? If you know somebody's going to hit you from behind, or if you're going to hit something in front of you, what do? You grab the wheel with both hands and you hold on tight, right? And you usually straighten your arms out. Well, I did that, and I got hit from behind, and I had a little bit of a lash, like a it wasn't a whiplash, it was like a forward lash is what I think is what he called it, where it threw my head forward, and then it fucked my shoulder up because the impact like hit me, and it seemed like my left arm was in a position to where it didn't take as much of the fucking impact, right? So my right arm did, so it jammed my shoulder on my right side. And I went to fucking chiropractor and had it worked on. And dude, he did me fucking wonders. You know, I didn't have to worry about it. Now, of course, you know, because I went to a chiropractor and not a medical doctor or a nurse practitioner or some bullshit like that, the insurance company didn't want to pay me, right? And I got fucked on that deal because, you know, you see these people, you know, they get barely tapped from behind, and they get out of the car, you know, oh my back or oh my neck, and then they play it off, right? And then they end up getting $30,000 or $40,000, you know, because they take the ride to the hospital, you know, and everything in the ambulance, and they don't drive the car, you know, and then they go for all this physical therapy and, you know, pain and suffering. Oh God, my neck hurts, you know, shit like that, when I could have took a fucking goody powder, you know, chased it with a fucking shot of liquor and they'd have been fine, you know what I mean? So, and I ended up only getting like $7,000, you know what I mean? And I mean, they paid my lawyer, they paid my doctor. I call him a doctor, they called him a chiropractor, but they don't look, the court system does not look at chiropractors as medical doctors, because they don't go to like medical school for 20 years to get a degree, you know, to open people up and look at shit on the inside, or, you know, throw them pills. That's basically what it is, because most 99.9% of your chiropractors are all, hold on a second, 99.9% of your chiropractors don't believe in, you know, pain medication and shit like that. That's why they don't prescribe it. You know what I mean? They look at natural ways to heal people. And if fucking doctors aren't going to make money, you know what I mean? They're not. They you know, it's all a big fucking vicious cycle. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy, dude. They, you know, the homeopathic way is the way to go. I mean, I like Dee, she's got this stuff from a company that, you know, is like, all it is like all natural drops and shit. And like when I started to get sick last time, I took some stuff called Feel Better Fast, right? And I took that shit for like almost a week, I guess. And I didn't even suffer any of like fever, or, you know, like my cold went away, boom, that quick. And it didn't get any worse, you know? But there's all kinds of home remedies you can use. Let's see here, they rip you off. Yeah, they do, with all the fees and shit. Oh yeah, workers' comp, trouble 3 years, pay for it all. Hell yeah, they ought to pay for it. You get hurt on the job or something, you know what I mean? They shouldn't even ask any questions. If you get hurt on a job, you can prove it, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. Fuck them, you know what I mean? Your stuff is converted, whatever that means. I often use mirth. Okay, mirth, I don't know anything. Heals wounds and helps with bones. Coolness. Boss was wanting to call the workers' comp trying. Yeah. It figures, because your boss is probably, you know, partially responsible for whatever the problem was and the reason you got hurt. Now he doesn't want to accept responsibility for it. You know what I mean? Even though it may have been his fault, they don't want to ever say it happened on their company property, because see, what happens is when you get hurt on your company's property or while you're working, believe it or not, their insurance goes up because you're a risk. Now you're a risk, right? So if you're a risk, just like if you're driving a car and crash, okay, it takes a little while for that to come back off your record, because you have to prove to them again, even though you've been driving safe for 30 years, you have a crash, now you got to prove to them again that you can drive. Plus, you know, all that money you pay, they take a deductible out of that, right? So all that money that you pay in for insurance and shit, you're also paying for everybody else that has accidents, okay? So if you have an accident, you know, whether you've paid in or not, all the money that you paid in, you say for instance, if you have a insurance company you've been with for 10 years and you pay them motherfuckers $500 a month for insurance, now that's not a realistic number, I'm just using that as an example, right? So if you pay them, you know, $500 a year or $500 a month for 10 years, you know, that's $50,000 you pay in, and all that money that you pay in is going to other people and their crashes and shit. You know what I mean? I'm paying. They told me when I was young, oh man, you know, you're an inexperienced driver, but you know, once you turn 25 and you got all this driving experience, you know, and all that safe driving, your insurance is, you know, your insurance rate's going to drop. Okay, that's bullshit, because I'm paying now more than I paid when I was a kid to fucking drive a car, to be able to drive a car. Now, granted, I've got 3 cars on my insurance policy, right? But, you know, I'm 56 years old now, and the amount of money that I pay for insurance is over what I paid for insurance when I was 18 years old and had just gotten my driver's license. You know what I mean? And I asked him why it was so high back then. I think it was like 1988, 1989 when I first started buying insurance for a vehicle, after I turned 18, right? And they were telling me, well, you know, all these kids, these kids are going out and buying these Mustang 5.0s and they're fucking crashing them all over the place. And, you know, these parents are buying their kids cars and shit. And then these kids want to go out and show off their cars and they get in an accident. And then boom, their insurance rate goes up. Well, so does everybody else's. You know what I mean? Like, Missouri is like the worst place to live as far as insurance goes. We have tornadoes here for one, so that makes your house insurance really high. And then of course, you know, the hail damage from, you know, hailing and damaging your car and shit like that. A lot of cars get totaled because the damage is so extensive that they can't fix it, right? So they got to make up for the compensation of money some way. So they charge everybody else, even though their car may have been in a garage and wasn't damaged, their insurance rate goes up too, which is fucking bullshit if you ask me. All right, y'all hold on a minute. I'm trying to merge out in the traffic here. I got these assholes won't fucking let me over, dumbass. You know, that really just pisses me off. People see me coming and they see that there's a lane next to them that they can get into to let me come off the fucking interstate, but these dumbasses don't know how to fucking drive. You know, they just think they own the road because they're driving a fucking Porsche. Whoop the fucking do. Okay, I'm done. But, I mean, seriously though, man, insurance is the biggest fucking ripoff. And see, here's the problem. Not so much with homes, because you don't necessarily have to have homeowners insurance unless you have a house financed or something. Then, you know, as part of the contract for your mortgage or whatever, you may have to have insurance, okay? But if you've got a house that's paid for, you don't necessarily have to have insurance on that house. Automobiles are completely different. You have to, in most states, you have to have insurance to get a tag on your car. You have to have insurance to get a driver's license, okay? So the insurance companies are at liberty to rip you off and make you pay fucking whatever they want. You know what I mean? It's fucking rip-off economics is what it is, okay? So, and not only are you paying for your insurance and your damages if anything ever happens to your automobile, but if something happens to somebody else's, then you're paying for them too. You see what I mean? It's almost like taxes. You know what I mean? We pay in all these fucking taxes every year, and we're paying, you know, people in third world countries, excuse me, you know, to keep people off their backs and shit. And we're sending them fucking billions of dollars, like Ukraine and Taiwan and El Salvador and wherever the fuck else we're sending money to. Who God only knows where these days. I just know that my tax dollars aren't being used in the U.S. for people that need it, like our veterans. That really fucking pisses me off. But I'm not going to get into all that today because that's politics and I don't feel like dealing with it. But I mean, you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, the insurance companies now, of course, you got bigwigs and things like that, and they want to make millions of dollars a year. But the best way I have been told to get insurance is go directly to a company instead of going through like an insurance broker, because he's kind of like the middleman, and he can charge you pretty much what he wants to do the legwork and do all the paperwork and shit for you. You see what I mean? So now you're paying two people. You're paying your insurance people, okay? The insurance company, you know, Geico or Progressive or Farmers or, you know, First National or whatever other fucking companies out there, Allstate. Okay, you're paying them a fee, but on top of what you're paying them, you're actually paying your insurance broker, because that's the way he's staying in business. You know, if you had an insurance broker that wasn't getting part of what you pay in, then there would be no need for him to be in business, period. You know what I mean? So it's all a big fucking racket. It's just like it's a big fucking pyramid scheme is basically all it is. You know, they want to screw you just as hard as they can. Now, I understand, you know, that you know, houses and cars are, you know, a little more expensive to fix these days because of the fucking economy or whatever, right? But that doesn't mean that, you know, you need to jack up the price of somebody's fucking insurance. Like mine recently, I was with Farmers, right? And Farmers jacked my insurance between January of this year and my first payment on February of this year. It went up like $116 or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's because of the area I live in. And I ended up canceling with Farmers and going with Progressive, because Progressive was like $75 cheaper than, you know, but I'm still paying a fucking middleman. You know what I mean? So I'm still getting screwed. Okay, so when they sent my refund, what they did is they prorated my refund. Even though they didn't cover me in February, they prorated me for just a couple of days that it took to cancel my insurance in February. And instead of giving me $416 or $406, which is what they should have given me, they sent me $290 and said, here you go, have a nice day. Okay, now I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, I spent like almost an hour on the phone with these people trying to tell them, look, I didn't use your insurance in February, so you shouldn't be charging me any insurance in February. Well, you're right, sir, and we'll have to get back to you and blah, 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 and we'll have somebody call. Nobody called me. Nobody even reached out to me after this phone call, and this chick told me what they were going to do, right? So I get a notification this morning from my bank, you know, that I had a deposit, and it came from Farmers Insurance. So I go look at it. Instead of being $406, it was only $290 and some change, right? So, of course, I'm pretty pissed at fucking Farmers, because when my roof got damaged this past summer, I paid my deductible, right, off the top, okay? Then they charged me another $4,600 or something close to that, because they said that my roof had depreciated in value. Now, wait a minute, what? They're not going to take my fucking roof off and put it on somebody else's house, right? Now, I did a video about this. I think it was like back in June, maybe it was June or July. I did a video about it, and dude, I fucking cussed that guy up one side and down the other. But anyway, so you get what I'm saying. Insurance companies just want to rip people off. It is insane. All right, let's see. Let me go back here, because I didn't, Jesus. I know, baby. I get to run in my mouth. And all right, your boss was the one that called for work. He was fully responsible, threatened to fire me You didn't deliver 2 packages that required 2 people to lift. Jesus Christ. That's horrible. Yeah, it is horrible, isn't it? You had a fart and you had to clench it. Made a whistle when you do fart. Yeah. I can't drive and I can't drive. I don't have that much confidence. Yeah, Ashley, you don't need to be driving, not until you learn how. Yes, insurance is an elitist communist scam. You damn right it is. Yeah, Ashley wouldn't know because she has never had to pay insurance. But anyway, often with heals wounds. Mirth. Okay, I got that. All right. Well, I've been back through all of it. I think I've been back through everything. Anyway, y'all, I hate that I didn't get to interact with you guys much, on my way home today, but you guys know, you've seen me long enough on here to know that once I get running my mouth about something, I got to just fucking come out with it or I'm not going to be happy. I'll fucking die of an aneurysm or something because my brain will swell and my head will explode and all that good shit. So I got to get it out. Anyway, all right, y'all. Well, I've been on here 26 minutes, so I'm going to take off. Everybody have a good evening. I'll see you again Friday. Remember, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes I'm anywhere in a 3-hour period. I'm usually here from 2:30 to 4:30. So you guys take it easy, and we'll talk to you again soon. Till then, later.